Everybody, this is Scoots here, and this message is for super fans, super listeners only. Only those people who listen all night long and fall asleep fast in particular, or you've been listening to the show for years, or you listen 4, 5, 6, 7 nights a week. I'm just wondering during this season of gratitude if you're grateful for what Sleep With Me does in your life. I'm grateful to know I'm helping people out there who can't sleep just like I didn't, or people that can't sleep or just having a hard time in the deep, dark night. But what is it about Sleep With Me you're grateful for? Go ahead, think about it. And would you miss that thing if it's gone? Like all the episodes of the show, me as the host, the show coming out 3 nights a week, new content, a variety of content, hour-plus episodes. Would you miss some of those things if they were gone? Do you think that would impact that thing you're so grateful for? The rest, the comfort, the friendship, the companionship, the distraction, the reliability? If you are, please consider supporting the show right now in this moment. We need you to support the podcast, because if you do, if you're the one person, and this is not a joke, like only one person's going to support the show tonight, and it's more than likely it's going to be 0 people. So are you the one person that's going to sign up and support the show because you're thankful for it? Because you're grateful for what it has done for you? If you're grateful for the show and you don't want to have to miss it, it'll be around if you support it. If 0 people support it, it's going to be tough. If you're the one person who supports the show tonight, that means the show will probably be around. It is a paradox, because it's going to be either 0 or 1, and you get to decide. Thanks.
This show is supported by Odoo. When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster that's going to be talking about 101 the sleep podcast episodes on the wall. 99 sleep podcast things on the wall. Take one down, lull it around, and then you'll have 99, 100, then 99, then 98. And eventually I'll get through 100 of them, all in a lulling, soothing manner. If you're confused, oh boy, we're celebrating 10 years of making Sleep With Me, over 1,200 episodes. And what is Sleep With Me? You might have tuned in and thought it was something different. It is something different, very different. It's a podcast to keep you company and help you fall asleep. It's a friend in the deep, dark night. Just like if you would call a friend and say, talk to me about something nonsensical, but make it barely entertaining, barely humorous. Take my mind off of stuff, because it's not easy not being able to fall asleep. It's not easy falling asleep. It might not be easy staying asleep. It might not be easy dealing with those feelings in the deep, dark night. And that's why I make the show. You deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a place you could rest. Ideally, a bedtime you could look forward to. Now, this podcast does take a few tries to get used to, so give it a few tries, see how it goes. You really got nothing to lose. I'm just here to be your friend in the deep, dark night and keep you company. This podcast really works for the people it works for. When people discover it, they say, holy cow, I had no idea. I've been looking for this my whole life. Now, there are people that it doesn't work for. You could always check out sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. That has other sleep podcasts and sleepy stuff on there you could give a listen to. But I'm so glad you're here. And what we got coming up, support. That's how the podcast is free twice a week. There's over 600 episodes. So as you become a regular listener, you could pick from those and see what works best for you, or make a playlist, or just listen all night long, as some people do. Then what do we got after that? Oh, then a long meandering intro. The intro is meant to ease you into bedtime. It puts a few people to sleep, but for most people, it's part of their wind down routine. And then later on, we'll have a little sleepy story recap, making of, wondering, me forgetting, not remembering everything I've made between episodes 900 and 1,000, I think. Or 800, I think 900. We see I'm already doing it. I don't even know where I am. And that's what this show's about. So I'm so glad you're here. And I really hope I can help you fall asleep. And these sponsors are how we're able to do it for free twice a week. So check them out, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots. If you're a Sleep With Me Plus supporter and you're hearing this, you're listening to the ad-supported feed of the podcast. And that means you have not set your table for your holiday celebrations. You know, this is the holiday season, time for Thanksgiving and thinking about what we're grateful for. And I'm telling you, you'll be so grateful and so thankful you set up your Sleep With Me Plus content because it's designed with you, the super listener, in mind. And you want to put all that content in one place, not a music app, not the podcast app you listen to your daytime podcasts in. Pick a podcast app and just put your Sleep With Me Plus content only in there. It's going to change your listening for the show. It's going to make it so much easier to pick your favorites, to make your playlists, to find what you're looking for. You'll be full of sleepy holiday gratitude. But make sure you have your Sleep With Me Plus content set up. If you're listening to this message, you don't have it set up. This is a totally different podcast hosted by a totally different company than the company that hosts the Sleep With Me Plus content. So go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, log in, and set up your bonus content, or contact our support team so they can help you out. support@supercast.com. And you'll be so thankful you did. If you're curious about Sleep With Me Plus, check it out. You get a 7-day trial at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, Scooter here, and this is a retrospective episode that we're temporarily running in place of TV recap episodes during the strikes. We're just holding off. We did some silent movies, maybe over the holiday season. I don't know if we'll do silent movies or something else. But yeah, just looking back, we're going to look back at 800 through 899, I think. And then, I don't know if we have extra time. I'm like, oh, maybe we could dig way back. But yeah, this is kind of looking back. I mean, I honestly, like, when I look back, I can't even, I mean, sometimes if you listen to the last episode I did this, it was just interesting having like the podcast is so, I don't know. I'm always like surprised. Oh, wow. I thought that episode was older or more recent. Or thus far, I don't think I've been totally stumped on any episodes, even though these are only a few years old. These are from 2019, starting in the 800s. So, yeah, let's see. We started with the 800, which we talked about last episode. That was the AMA, where I answered some common questions about the show. Maybe I should rerun that one. Probably should. Then 801 was a snore track or sleep with TNG, season 2, episode 8, A Matter of Honor. Don't feel blue. I'll explain your sleepless nights away as Riker and the Klingons play. You think that's when Riker worked on it must have been a Riker Worf episode. Oh boy. Then 802. Oh, what a mountain. That's a board game, and I will be Googling this just in case. This is one of my, whatever that thing's called, like my things I'm searching for. It's a board game from when I was a kid that we had bought used. I actually bought some of the parts of it on eBay, and my eBay address was so rarely used that it got shipped to my old work address, so I never recovered it. So still trying to. It looks like I'm seeing one version of it, so a couple versions. Wow, plus $24 shipping. That's not gonna work for me. How much is the shipping on this one? $14.50. Well, I'm going to look into it, but it was a board game. It was just what was I explaining? I mean, you could listen to the episode, but it was a three-dimensional board game that we bought used at a garage sale. So even when we bought it, it didn't have all the parts, and this was in the 80s. But it was so cool to play a three-dimensional board game where you're climbing a mountain. I'm so surprised. I guess I don't like, well, I bought a couple of 3D board games. I don't know if I talked about this in the episode, but I don't know if this was intentional or unintentional though. So I bought my daughter two Scooby-Doo three-dimensional board games for Christmas one time, or birthdays when she was younger. And those were three-dimensional games. One was like similar to, one was, I think you were going up, and then the other was you were going down. Or I don't know. I can remember the one that we had at my house, which had like a car on a tracks. It was inside a mountain. And it was pretty fun, but it was like a lot of work to set up and stuff. So it's similar to Oh, What a Mountain. So anyway, that was Oh, What a Mountain, 802 in 2019. Then 803 was Labor Day, which is, wow, that's weird. So today is September 1st, and that was Labor Day, I guess, 2019, because today is September 1st, 2023. So 4 years ago, we recorded or released 803. That was all intros. Okay, then we have 804, Bop It in Bellowsville, Dr. Triangle and Isosceles Adventures, Episode 4. That game, Bop It. Anybody remember that one? Twisted. Let's see, bop it, you bop it, twist it, flick it, pull it, right? Was that everything? I remember more playing it like I had a keychain version for a while. Bop it, pull it, twist it, flick it, twist it, bop it. It's kind of, if you've never played Bop It, it's a bit like there's a game called Simon. That was a brand name, or it's like one of those ones where you got to do it in order, like it flashes red, flashes green. But this one, you're trying to do it in real time, and it gets faster and faster and faster. I'm surprised it doesn't, like, they haven't re-released it because everything's big on, brand, and it's tactile, which is the difference between pressing, tiles on a phone or even on a machine. Bop It, you were actually bopping it. You were actually flicking it, twisting it, or pulling it. It was a fun game. We also never mind. I was gonna say, well, I'll just be honest. If you're you could just put your mind to use. Bop it after dark. That's all I'm saying. As you're getting in your pajamas, you know what I mean? I recommend it. At playing the game to kind of say, okay, now you put on one of your pajamas. So you could use it like that. You could use it actually bop it. I don't think because now you got to brush your teeth for 2 minutes. So I guess it doesn't seem like a good use of it though. Okay, so where were we? A little too much information there, Scoots. The Defector, that was Snortrek, Season 3, Episode 10. Was this the one? No, that was Tapestry, right? Where, like, one of Picard love stories. Yeah, I remember the Defector. That was wasn't that a trick? A Neutral Zone, Scramble. Oh, this was a knock adventure. I don't remember this one, but I guess I had to do a Scrabble and knocks. So there you go. First stump of the night. I don't remember the plot of Scrabble. I mean, usually with the knock adventure ones, it takes me about 25 minutes to explain that my dog Cohen, I have a hobby of listening to knocks. census party. No need to count sheep, as our heroic figures will help you count people without math. That was Dr. Triangle and Isosceles episode 8. I'm sure I said in there ain't no party like a census party. If you, depending on how you conduct your census, probably would be better. Oh, maybe that was a plot. Like if you had a party. I mean, isn't that what happened isn't that how we celebrate, like one of the seasonal holidays, Christmas? Isn't that related to census? So there's, this is one I wouldn't title it this way anymore. Sins of the Father. It's the name of the episode. Wonder if that episode underperformed. I had this conversation the other day. This was a TNG episode, season 3, episode 17. Oh, it's a two-parter, right? So that's probably why. Oh, no, it wasn't a two-parter. So it was a good episode. I love that episode. I love Worf-based episodes, but, I don't know. This is funny that it was in the modern, what I would consider the modern era of Sleep With Me. Though we're probably in a postmodern era now, because that was 300 episodes ago. But, the post, like, 500 episodes, like, at some point I became aware if I titled it with anything that could be archetypal, that the episode would underperform. People would be like, no, it has that word in there. I'm not going to listen to it. So I don't know. I've never looked at the stats of that episode. Traditionally, TNG episodes underperform. And what does that mean? It means less people listen to them. And it kind of means that part of our estimated way of making the show work is like estimating how many people are going to listen to the episode. And so if it underperforms, then we're like so just, I don't know. Then 809, another sandy day at the beach. So a holiday episode a summer episode coming out in September. I assume I recorded it in the summer. A trip to the beach without sand in your bed. Summer breeze. Then the joy math. Probably, I don't know if I put math in the title. I probably would. Joy math. Put joy in it. Put kind of counteracts the word math. A little bit tongue in cheek there. Time for some fun. That is the same to sleep, since it is interdependent on math. Okay, that sounds like my dyslexia should mess that up. Okay. A girl from Arizona. That was Girl from Arizona, part 1. Good Place to Sleep, season 4, episode 1. Oh, then National Lampoon. So I must have been recording these in the summer, which would make sense in October. I was probably recording these episodes in August. National Lampoon's Vacation, Tell the Tape. That's always one that's hard for me to remember, all the different tangents. Then 813, My Little Undercover Pony. Adventures of Dr. Triangle and Isosceles. I don't know what that one's about. I mean, I know it's about math, but I don't know how My Pony and Undercover works into it. But be interesting to find out, I guess. Six Flags Magic Mountain with Ray. That was, October 2019. I don't know when that trip was, but maybe in 2019 or 2018, the actual trip I made to Six Flags Magic Mountain. But what, it would have, if it was a summer trip, or early summer trip, when I was on my way to work, for the podcast for that Australian episode, which had come out a while ago. So probably was a year, but I was just talking about this episode with my daughter because we went to another, not theme park, amusement park, recently. And the making of this episode and that trip to Magic Mountain kind of changed, like Ray talked about in that episode, how important it is if you're not going to, like Disney or Universal Park, that you do have to have a totally different mind frame. And we went to that park with kind of that mind frame of like, get there at rope drop, which we did not do. And then proceed in some sort, like have expectations to like kind of like have a touring plan. And I'm not saying don't have a touring plan, because we went to Six Flags Magic Mountain maybe in 2022 on a fairly busy day, and we did have a plan. Like we did get there close to rope drop, and we did have a plan. Now, but the thing is, your plan's got to be super malleable, because not everything these parks are going to be very short staffed, and probably even into the future, it seems like. And so you can't expect to get there early, and then like you say, okay, the wait times are going to be low. But now what they do, and unfortunately, the other companies have learned this, where companies like where you got to make a reservation to get into a park you paid for. It's one of the reasons we cut back for a while. But like, so these ones you don't have a reservation, but they say, well, we're not going to open up the good rides till 11 or whatever. But if you go into it kind of with an open mind of like, okay, let's just see how it goes. Now, it does help if you have a discounted ticket. Like the ticket we went that time was like a Go LA ticket. So it wasn't like we were paying full price. And then since then we've had like a seasonal pass where it's like you can usually break even, like Ray talked about on another episode, after like 2 or 3 visits. But the thing is, that gives you this relief of saying, okay, we're definitely going to come back to this park this season. So the fact that we're only going on 3 rides, especially if parking's included, you want to make sure parking's included on the pass you get, if you're going to get a seasonal pass, because the parking is another way they kind of maximize the revenue. And so you just go into it. So we went to one recently, and maybe Ray will talk about it at some point, but so I won't say the name of the park or anything. But we got there. We did get there at pretty much the time it opened. The most popular ride was not running. And then we got into the second most popular ride. That ran once, but they just started up their operations like at the opening of the park. So then it seemed like they had to run, I don't know, about 10 trains through to like whatever, get the computer result to say, okay, now we're good to run. So they like ran one group through, and then we waited for a while, which is okay, because we kind of expected that. And then we said, people were getting out of line. We said, well, I mean, they didn't say to get out of line yet. And where are you going to go if you get out of line anyway? So it's like, might as well wait. We're going to wait for this. It was the second most popular ride. So might as well wait now. And eventually we got on. It was great. Then we went on other things, but then other things weren't open. Or things have what seems like a short line, but it's short staffed, so it's a little bit slower operations. But when you go into that with that attitude, like it makes it more fun. And because we didn't hit those weren't even hiccups. We didn't hit our major hiccups until the bumper cars of all things. That was like a huge error, and that was my part. Like I had heard the bumper cars were fun, and I eyeballed the line, and I eyeballed it wrong because only one person was working. And so it was, that kind of like, but because it was okay, we're like, okay, we'll come back. We got the end of the season deal for next season. So it's like, okay, no big loss. And then our next hiccup, which this will be in the case for a long time, I think as well, is in food and beverage. Like, and that one was like I almost had to submit a thing. But I said, you know what? Like, I mean, it wasn't anybody's fault other than the staffing again, and a little bit of revenue maximization that I said, whoa, boy, hold on. But it was also my first visit, and I said, you know what? This is moving forward. Should be instructive that it's like probably in a perfect world, you're planning your meals not around eating there, or at least you're having something in case it looks like the operations are falling behind. The only issue with this one was we didn't know it until it was past the point of no return. So anyway, that's just a little bit about, but I don't know. Then it was just like, whatever. I mean, we'll be back. Okay. Steam Gal. That's Dr. Triangle and Isosceles, 8. Chillaxing Tinker Tailor. It was a good place. Season 4, episodes 3 and 4. Claude and the Count, Chocula's cereal box history. This one was fun. I think we looked through a bunch of old cereal boxes, like kind of like visual list type thing. Fall of Math. That's episode 9. Sounds like we're headed towards thing. This was cool. This 820 was really fun. So this was Ings and Within the Wires. We did a double crossover. So Ings came to a live show and performed music. And then we also did a crossover with podcasts Within the Wires. So and it was seasonal because that was October 30th. So I think we had tested it out as a live show and then recorded it, because I think this one is probably not the live recording. This is probably for release. Then Bear Me, Employee of Chip Driver. That's a confusing title. I like it. Scalene and Fruit Pies. I love that name, Scalene. One of my favorite, these are a few of my favorite triangles, Scalene and Fruit Pies. Planners and Planters. That's Date Moi on Dates. They came out in November of 2019. It was a hot Valentine's Day style. That's like my imaginary platform, like a secret level on Venmo called Date Moi. Believe it or not, they've never contacted me, but most people just, a lot of times people just take my idea. They say, okay, well, we'll just do that anyway without telling you, Scoots. We'll just call it, Date Mo, you put an eye on it. So I say, great. Thanks. Tuck Finn looks back at, so wow, Dr. Triangle was only 10 episodes. What was it? Or 9 episodes? No, 10 episodes. Scaling and Fruit Pies was so this was a test I was doing. And funnily enough, we may dramatically move from that. So I think for a little while, I was trying to see, okay, if we did the episodically modular series, could we do them in 10 episodes versus 12 episodes versus more than 12 episodes, which over the history of the show, originally I just run a series until I thought it reached its conclusion. I mean, very early on, we're talking, there was episodes, I think, with this shows with 30. Those may have been more, not, episodic though, or episodic. You say episodic, I say episodic, and then I drink it. And then as we kind of refine how we do things and learn what works for most people or what people like, so we can alternate between styles of shows. I discovered that. Well, maybe we should shoot for something more contained. And at some point, I got to this 12 episodes with a recap, so 13 episodes. Because also, I'm always trying to make sure I have enough content to fill a whole year. And I'm I don't plan the whole year out ahead of time, but I kind of get a general sense of what the next 12 months are going to look like as far as recording and releasing. And because, again, it's hard to imagine as a listener, but the idea that the episode is coming out it's just like that I Love Lucy chocolate, if you Google that, chocolate assembly line or whatever, that's what making the podcast really is like. Even though it seems chill, it is that thing of even repeats or whatever. And the reality is, unfortunately, that this type of the style of content creation where it's not a part of a large corporation has tons of benefits. But one of the things is that everything relies on new content in order to support paying your bills and continuing making the show. There are benefits to the old content, but it doesn't, if you don't have new content, you just drop, doesn't work. So what was my point about that? Oh, so then I said, okay, 12 episodes seems to work, but let's try 10. Maybe that'll like be creatively more challenging, maybe add some more variety. And then we kind of ended back up at 12. And now I'm back right now recording. I'm scheduled to record episode 10 of Journey into the World of Friends next week. So actually a week from today is when I need to record episode 10. But I'm kind of feeling as I'm writing episode 10, I'm like, do we have to force this creatively to end at 12 episodes, or is this me? Like, this is where I'm trying to deal with nuance, or can I be creatively, can this use a creative push to wrap it up in 12 episodes, or is wrapping up in 12 episodes, like, which is the right creative way to do it? And I guess, like, I'll let the recording and the story tell me, but I do like it, like most streaming shows that are on a regular basis, you hit something at 11, and then 12 is the post-peak, kind of like whatever they call it. I don't even know how to say that word, denouement or whatever, where you say, oh, okay, so we hit that peak at 11 or 9, and then the last episode is kind of, putting a bow on it. If you liked it, I'll put a ring on it, So I'm just wondering, if that's what's going to happen. Also, looking at the holiday schedule for 2023 and saying, well, I had this really interesting idea for a new limited run holiday series. And do we do this now in 2023, or I don't know the future. So it's like, do it in 2024, but I don't know. So do we put Journey in the World of Friends on hold over between Thanksgiving and New Year's and run one or two of these holiday episodes? Or do we, what do we, and I don't have an answer right now. I'll definitely know more when I record episode 10, which by the time you're hearing this, will be in episode 11 or 12. Because it's like, I guess this 10, are we entering the last thing, which like Journey in the World Friends, I know, but I feel like I wanted the characters to visit every single room. This is more for episode 13 of that series anyway, but, so that's interesting to me right now. Okay. So let's see. We looked back on the Adventures of Doc Trout. I said, honestly, that was episode 11, clocking in an hour and 7 minutes. Help is to other people to end all frowns. That was a good place. Episode 7 and 8 from season 4. It all started with an ice cream bar. That was a fun one. I think that maybe came out of an intro, but that was like one of those random episodes. Then an all intro episode for Thanksgiving. Then what do we got here? Good Place, season 4, episode 9. Let's see, was that it? No, Cheaty's Journey. Slow-mo recap of a slow-mo look back at Cheaty's journey to jog your dreamy memory. Okay, then a new holiday limited run series that was really enjoyed, and we were able to visit different ways of celebrating holidays through cookies and cooking, the Great Holiday Cookie Adventure. So that was fun. That was more than one. That must have been the intro episode. Warmed by cookies as cool as butter. Okay, then we did the 2019 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 2019. Since then, we've moved on. So this year in 2023, I would do the 2022 Thanksgiving Day Parade because at some point I missed the parade, and then I said, well, isn't it better off because it's really hard. I'll be honest. I got to the point where I really couldn't that's the thing when people are like, why don't you do this show? And it's like, okay, in the Thanksgiving Day parades really offer me where my instincts are right to say, well, no, I can't just do a show, recaps of a show, because I have to watch the show multiple times. and anticipate watching it multiple times in multiple seasons. So it has to be something that can stay palatable and I can stay curious about through multiple watches of a single episode and across multiple seasons. And it has to be a show that's palatable to listeners, because some people like 20 or 30% of listeners will base it on whether they have an impression of the show, be it negative or positive, and they'll just skip it. And that's been more extreme with the Star Trek ones. But that's why I choose the shows I watch very carefully. And the Thanksgiving Day Parade, it didn't start like that, but a few years ago, I got to the point where I was just like, man, I can't, I don't know if it was the length and the amount of commercials and the fact that the way it's laid out that I didn't realize, and the segments, but it just started to be like where I just was, but I wasn't that, to be honest. What it was that it was also those things combined with the time pressure of watching it on Thanksgiving, then watching it over and over again, and then recording an episode about it and trying to condense things and get it out in a reasonable time. Like 2 or 3 weeks just wasn't enough, because it's something that's kind of got to air out. So like today, this is just interesting. This morning when I got up and I was running through all the emails, it takes me like a couple different work segments to get through all the emails I get. And so I was watching the parade from 2022 in the background. So then I'm just warming up to it, right? And I'm saying, okay, I like that opening number. So then when I go down to do writing about it, I don't know, I have like a positive association because I have time versus like watching it and being like, okay, I got to record this in like, ideally a week, but 2 weeks max. I don't know, it changes up the relationship with it. Oh wow. Then Mandalorian, episode 1. Then ingredients for the Festival of Lights. That was a great holiday cookie adventure. Santa Claus is coming to town, tail of the tape. Have I done Rudolph? I think I did. I don't even remember what I don't remember about this one. That's funny. Oh, because that movie is pretty out there. That's with the Burgermeister. Then another Mandalorian, The Child. That's our first touch is Baby Oso there, 2019. Yule Log, Tourist, Great Holiday Cookie Adventure. Then a return from Tribute Tree. Oh, this was an interview, huh? I sit down with the Christmas tree that took a walk. Talk about apologies. Oh, wow. And then we didn't really we took a short break. So we did 2 sets of all intros between the holidays and New Year's. Then The Sun, Mandalorian 3. Then Odder Things. That was our first Dino and Downstairs board game unboxing. Oh, Otter with DDER. Odder Things. Oh, okay. That was it from the show. That was a Dino and Downstairs, D&D. Bought that for the holidays. I was just looking at that this summer. I had given it away. Red curry and jasmine rice, real-time recipe. So there's another curry recipe there. Sanctuary, Mandalorian on Mandalorian. Mini golf memories, 843. Looking back at mini golf. There's a trip to Knott's Berry Farm with Ray, 844. That was, wow. I wonder if those ones I probably batch recorded over like a week after the trip, because the Knott's Berry Farm trip was the same time as that Magic Mountain trip. Knott's Berry Farm is a little bit more of a theme park, so the operations there are normally a little bit more rigorous than your amusement parks, so you can do a little bit more planning. So I haven't been there in the daytime since then, since like 2018. Gum chewer, Mandalorian, then becoming a working artist. I kind of talked about seminar snoozes of how I got to where I am today. Sleeping Buddy, that's Get Bezos, Season 3, Episode 1. James and RW are back. Elbow Grease Heist, that was Mandalorian. Random Sleep Time Capsule, 849. I don't know, that was some sort of look back at titles of episodes like this one. That's funny. Condo Whisperer, that was Get Bezos Season 2, Episode 2, Season 3. Then President's Day All Intro. Then another Mandalorian episode, The Reckoning. Then did I read it? Ludlum Edition. I was looking back at all the Robert Ludlum books I read as a kid. Syrup Sweet Park, Get Bezos Season 3, Episode 3. Redemption Mandalorian Season 1. This is our last Bernie episode, maybe. 856, Frog Pad Polish with Bernie. This is where Bernie came in and talked about polishing frog pads and NCT. Okay, what do we got? Queen Cranberry on Parking, Get Bezos Season 3, Episode 4. You've Changed, Good Place to Sleep. Okay, so we paused Good Place and split it up. Then Sleepy Ticket to Ride, board game unboxing. That was a different Ticket to Ride, not the main one. Ticket to Ride Taxi Edition or something. Poetry of Straws, Get Bezos Season 3, Episode 5. Mondays, Am I Right? Season 4, Episode 11. It just reminded me of Andor because they say Mondays or whatever. Am I right? Sleepy, Speedy Cushion Cast. That was a one-off fan cast, a new podcast about sleepy bumps in the road, the people who love them. Then Bedtime Break for Bezos. So 863. This was an experimental episode that I'd always wondered if I would do. And then the opportunity presented itself. So this is like another tangent, like about the creation of the show and listener feedback, but also listener feedback, holding it in balance and then percolating on it and then making my own creative choice. So at some point in some series, they don't actually need this. And the more episodically modular it is, the less of a setup it needs, but also more seasons that go on, the more setup a show needs. So the setup is where it's after the intro and the sponsor spots. And then I say, hey, everybody, this is Scoots. Welcome to another episode of Get Bezos. And then I explain what it is. And I explain the show in a way that's I would consider loose and fun, that normally can be extremely long, like where it is like self-referential in a couple different ways, in the funnest way possible, where it's like, okay, this is very strange that this man, if you were like from an outside perspective, this man's going to explain what this episode's about, like what we need to know to move forward in this episodically modular series for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Now, sometimes it's 2 or 1 minute, or sometimes I've designed the stories where the characters can explain it. But this is particularly part of the sensibility and the DNA of Sleep with Me, is the idea that, but it could go on and on and on. Just having to explain what the series is about in order to start the next episode of the series, even if it's episode 8. But that became a part of the DNA of the show. Is one, I love that strain. Like, I love that this is a rule we don't necessarily need to follow, because normally your rule is to be efficient and convey information in an efficient manner. But Sleep with Me, our rule is have fun, be sleepy and have fun. to put people at ease. So the fact that I go on and on and on to explain what the show is also an acknowledgement and seeing listeners who are listening to episode 8, and it's the first episode. So my job is to put them at ease and give them all the information they need to listen to episode 8 if they happen to be awake listening. Or for regular listeners that for their whole existence have said, no, I have to listen in order. But one night they happen to listen to episode 8 for the first time of a series. And then suddenly they get the relief. Oh, I really can't. Now that I've tried, now I believe, Scoots, that I can listen to these in any order. So I'm going to listen as they come out, and then I'll go back. And the idea that it's fun, because I do get the frowny face emails of people that are listening for the first time, or people that just kind of dislike the podcast, or dislike me, and have strong feelings about that. And they got to let me know how ridiculous that is. I also understand that. I can't necessarily see that as well, other than to say, okay, I can't, there's not much I can do to change the DNA of the pod. Maybe I could keep that in mind. Or maybe I could try to have characters introduce some of this series. But if the actual, what makes the podcast works is something that makes you feel strongly, a lot of times I just got to be like, okay, I got to take all of the feedback I get and say, okay, what aligns most with the podcast? How should I handle it? But so I was always curious without forcing a tangent, what kind of organic tangent length would feel too long to me. Because here's the other thing that, especially the people that have strong opinions, everything with the show is really, there's a lot of intention that goes into it. Even as I'm recording right now, I'm aware of how long the recording's been running and how much longer it needs to run for me to have a full episode. And the fact that I have a lot of other work to do in this day that I'm recording the show, including appointments. So it's it isn't like I accidentally go on a 20-minute tangent. It's more like I organically go on a tangent that I'm aware, is this going to be, it's at 12 minutes. Where are we at to wrap this up? Okay, let's see where we are in the next 4 minutes. Or, this is kind of, maybe we should wrap it up now. I'm constantly, as I'm recording the show, I'm also producing the show in a separate role. It is strange, but it is kind of this split thing where one part of me is listening and maybe even an assistant role saying, by the way, and this isn't a joke, it's 12:07 now. You have an appointment at 12:30. So where are we at with the recording? Should we take a break and return to it or whatever? So all that being said, I was always curious if there would be a point where a setup would go so long without forcing it or planning it that I could just make it into an episode. And I know at some point during that episode, so that was supposed to be a written episode that was probably prepared. And then it was holy cow, I'm already at I'm already at 22 minutes. Let's just see can we go to 30 or 45 minutes and see where we're at? And can we make it past that, into the 50s and 60 minutes so that when it's edited down, it's 45 to 50 minutes long? Because everything, again, it has to be, those are where people this podcast takes a lot of work. I don't believe it or whatever, or it doesn't matter to me. It's okay, well, it does matter to me. And it's fun because it's okay, do we have, how much material is in here? So that was interesting. Also, it served another purpose for the production of the show, which was that with the written series, it's constantly a little bit of juggling the schedule and making sure we have stuff, I don't know, and so the written series, sometimes we're falling what I would consider behind. Because again, I would love an 8-episode lead time with all the styles of the shows we do. That's just not really realistic with the written episodes. But having it, then that becomes a buffer episode, right? Because I already had the episode written. So it's like I probably recorded that episode, and then the episode I was supposed to record, I probably recorded that the next day. So suddenly I had more material. So that was just one where it's like, the whole idea is ridiculous. So I would recommend listening to it if you're like a super fan, to check it out. Then Patty, Good Place to Sleep, season 4, episode 12. Oh, Princess Bride. Wow, that's 865. 866. Silver Sleeper Studios. That's funny because that's what Sleep With Me is. But season 3, Get Besso, season 3, episode 7. Whenever you're ready, Good Place to Sleep. Is that it? That's the series finale. Yeah, 13 and 14. Then a crossover with Alba Salix. So stay tuned for that. It was a real fun one. World Walking Reverse Condo. That was Get Besso, season 3, episode 8. Then this was Reunion, Snore Trek, season 4, episode 7. Then we ran a fan favorite flashback, My Life with HBO. Then Losing Your Swimsuit. I really liked that episode. That was 2020. Haven from Sports, Get Bessos, episode 9. The Drumhead. That was an intense episode of Snore Track, but it was like such a good episode. That was season 4, episode 21. Then another swimsuit issue, Happily in Robe swimsuit with the Kuzaks. Then Streaming Things Right, episode 10 of Get Bessos. And then Redemption Part 1, that was season 4, episode 26 of TNG. Oblong and Oddlong. That was a one-off of two siblings. Then all intro for Memorial Day. And then, okay, so that one, Bessos, we also wrapped up in 10 episodes. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that 10 episode wrap-ups anymore. Kind of like the 12 episodes. Gives me a little bit more time with the characters and is more meandering, I guess. Okay, then Redemption Part 2. That was TNG 5, episode 1. Oh, Song a Day crossover, as it happens with the Mystery Bard. Another fun crossover. Then a recap of Get Bessos. Then Data Lore, TNG. Then a Pocket Full of Stuffing. That was a random one. Then a repeat, My Life with the Perm, 567. And then Outer Things. So Outer Things didn't come out till June of 2020. I would have thought it was older. That's so funny. Episode 1. We'll Always Have Paris. Then another crossover with Bittersweet Life, Virtual Tour of Rome. That's a really good episode, really good podcast, really good people. Goop Chase and Duck-Billed Beaver. That's Outer Things. Sleepy, all intro for 4th of July. Then When the Bows Break at Art Camp. That was a Sleep with TNG episode. Jetstream Adventure. Don't remember that one at all. It was some sort of cloud thing. Album Drop Goofs. That was Outer Things episode 3. Then we got into Doctor Who, season 3, episode 0, Running Bride. Mewing Kittens, a board game unboxing. Odd Quest of the Lounge Singer, Outer Things 4. Smith and Jones, that was episode 1. Okay, so that's where Smith and Jones get together. Season 3, episode 1. My favorite companion, for sure. Protector Dance, Size Down, Outer Things 5, and the Shakespeare Code. And, oh, wow, then another review of episodes. We probably did. I just didn't put the numbers in here. There was real-time review of real-time episodes. I don't know. These look back ones are fun, though. So that's it. And thanks, everybody, and good night. All right, I want to thank everybody that became a patron recently, started supporting the show. Emily H., Spara, and Emily A. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Guidino, Chelsea, and Louise. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Todd, Brian, and Melissa. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Holly, Fee, and Tarmac. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Christina, Frank, and James. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Arlo, Alex, and Dave. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Colin, Paula, and Sophie. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Emma, Rocket, and Jimmy. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Thanks and good night, everybody, for supporting the show directly. So that's how we exist as a free podcast. And, people that support the show directly or support our sponsors. And free way to help the show is just spread the word. So, yeah, let me know if you do. Fill out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. You do any of those things so I can say thanks. And here's Scoots with either a Tuck You In sponsor or some other request. So take it away, Scoots, future past Scoots. I don't know. Thanks.